What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You are watching Gunplay TV, and today we've got a very special collaboration rifle from the folks at Zev Technologies. So if you know anything about Zev, you know that there's something pretty nice inside this box, and judging by its size, you can safely assume that it is an AR-15 of sorts, okay? So before we go any further, I'd ask that you pause this video now, scroll down, take a look for that subscribe button, and once you found it, go ahead and give that a click for me. I do appreciate it. Without further ado, let's get straight into it.
Reach for the sky.
Alright, and so in the interest of brevity, I have gone ahead and removed this beauty from its cardboard coffin. Of course, nothing really interesting about the packaging in this instance, pretty much just a cardboard box with a couple sheets of foam within, but all of the goodies are more or less included here on the table. So as we can see, I've already taken this out the box at least once before to tape up that serial number and go so far as to remove any magazines that you two might deem illicit. Neither here nor there. Right off the bat, we can see that this is a pretty well-equipped rifle, or pistol in this case, right? Thank you, ATF. Now, as I go through the technical specs of this rifle, I will make an effort to roll in some B-roll so that you guys get a close-up and really get an idea of what the Zev treatment is and the quality that's inherent to a rifle like this. Now, of course, before I do that, I do need to flip this over because this, as I mentioned, is a pretty rare, if you will, collaboration rifle. And the tactical hype beasts out there already know what this is, but this is actually a collaboration with the brand Wrmfzy. So if you frequent tactical Instagram or tactical Reddit for that matter at all, you probably have an idea of who Wrmfzy is. But again, for the noobs out there, I will give a quick crash course. So Wrmfzy is a brand. They do a lot of collaborations with other clothing companies, but primarily, at least what I've seen from Wrmfzy, is a wide variety of hoodies, jackets, shells, fleeces, etc., and a number of elusive camo patterns, right? So they did a DNC capsule a little while back, most recently did a frog skin camo capsule. I think they got a tiger stripe fleece drop in this Friday. So they make some pretty cool stuff. I'm not going to go so far as to say that it's Patagonia or Arc'teryx tier quality goods, but it is pretty cool just the same. And you know, I appreciate what they do, and so does the industry, as it would seem. Now, as we dive into this, I will try to roll in some B-roll so that you guys get an idea of the quality that is inherent to a Zev rifle and a collaboration build such as this. Again, I think a quick glance will inform you of a lot of the little tweaks and goodies that they've put on this guy, but again, I will roll through the technical specs here so that everybody knows what this is truly pieced together of. So first things first, of course, you have a Zev Forged upper and lower receiver set. They are precision milled from 7075 T6 aluminum. Okay, so long story short, it's gonna be lightweight and it's gonna be very strong. From there, they said that they've given it a true black Type 3 Class 2 hard coat anodizing. Long story short, again, it's going to mean that the rifle is going to be more resilient, more resistant to rust, abrasions, things of that nature, right? Again, a quality thing that you want. Now, beyond that, as we can see here on the upper, for the most part, it was given a Cerakote treatment in this kind of desert camo, if you will, and that was done by the folks at Triarc. So if you know anything about rifles, you know that Triarc does not play around. They make some high-end stuff, and their Cerakote is just as good. Now, the handguard on this guy is the ZEV Wedge Lock handguard. Okay, so again, we see it's more or less full length on this 10.5-inch barrel, and of course, with that, you do get a continuous top rail of Picatinny, and you get M-LOK at 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. Now, one of the things that's probably jumping out to you, one of the first things that I noticed about this build personally, was the Zev Custom 416R 10.5-inch match barrel. Okay, so again, if you're watching this video and you're not familiar with rifles, that match barrel means that it's going to be exceptionally accurate. I've not taken this thing out. I've not put any rounds to it. This thing is brand new, of course. As we see, I'm giving it the black glove treatment, but it is in fact chambered in 5.56, so your 223 rounds are gonna be good to go out of this. I would have liked to see them go 223 wild, but neither here nor there. It is a match barrel, so you should be able to get exceptional accuracy out of something like this with a bronze PVD coating, which really catches your eye. I mean, this thing, it almost looks orange, but it is a true bronze, and it's definitely something that I've not seen before. Now, lastly, of course, that barrel is a 1 in 7 twist, and it is a carbine length gas system. All in all, very good as far as the barrel and gas system goes. I mean, I think that they've kind of extended that gas block about as far as you can expect on a 10.5-inch barrel. And so I think that the reliability out of something like this is going to be as good as it comes. Again, Zev does not cut corners. Popping off that barrel, we can see here at the end is the Zev Custom muzzle device. Now, this is one that I've not actually tested out myself, but it does give me flashbacks, if you will, of the Surefire War Comp. It's got porting on top, as well as kind of an integrated 3-prong flash hider. So I imagine the idea there is, one, to mitigate any fireballs protruding from the end of this 10.5-inch barrel. Again, the shorter that barrel, the more likely you're gonna have excess noise and powder burn as that bullet or that projectile exits the barrel. But in addition, you got the porting on top to hopefully keep the left to right and up and down motion of the rifle on recoil to a minimum. Now, the gas block, as I touched on quickly before, is low profile, as we can see, for it to fit under a rail this slim, but it is fixed, okay? And so it is not an adjustable gas block. That is something that I would have liked to see them add, especially if you're gonna go so far as to suppress this rifle. I think that that's something that might be a worthy addition, but all in all, what you're getting out the box, I mean, I don't think that they've cut a single corner so far. Now, to complement that 10.5-inch barrel with that carbine length gas system, they have added an H3 buffer here in the brace. Now, that should help to reduce port pressure and increase dwell time. So, long story short, what that means is you should have reliable extraction, hopefully even under suppression, as well as a very smooth and manageable recoil impulse. So again, follow-up shots with this rifle should be very, very manageable. Now, the bolt carrier group, or the BCG that we see peeking out of the side there, it is a chrome lined BCG, so it should be very slick and relatively easy to clean. But on top of that, they've added a manganese phosphate finish for increased and improved lubricity and corrosion resistance. So all in all, what does that mean? It means that you've got a quality BCG, which in my mind, in conjunction with the barrel, is the heart of the rifle. And with a match grade barrel, we've got a carbine length gas system and a very, very nice BCG out of the box. So far, the moving parts within this rifle are top notch. Kind of moving down a bit, we can see that we've got a flat face AR gold trigger from ATC. Now, we'll ghost this together here in a bit, but it's got what they claim, at least, is a 2.5-pound trigger pull with a short reset and clean break. Okay, so I've not tried any of these ATC triggers. This will be the first time that I ghost one, and we'll do that again here on the camera here in a bit, but I am eager to see what that thing can do. Now, in addition, a couple extra goodies, they have added a Radiant Weapons Talon ambidextrous safety selector. Okay, so that of course is going to allow you to actuate that safety or the fire switch, if you will, from either side of the rifle. So that's always a nice add, something that I always tell people to pick up, even though I don't have many of them myself. We did mention that this is a pistol, or at least as it's currently configured. I'm sure that you could go so far as SBRing something like this, and frankly, I think that this would be a prime candidate for an SBR, but neither here nor there. It does come with an SBA3 brace from SB Tactical. Okay, this is not my favorite SB Tactical brace, but it does offer 4 different stock positions or brace positions in this instance. Okay, and so at least as of now, the ATF is happy to allow us to continue to purchase AR pistols, and of course with that comes a brace of some kind. So SBA3, not bad at all. Now, one of the other things that I wanted to call out, we can kind of see it here from the top, we do get a Zev slide lock charging handle. Okay, so again, it's an ambi charging handle. It's not a Radian, it's not a Geisley. Of course, you could always go so far as to add something like that if you feel so inclined, but again, it's ambi out of the box. From what I can tell, these things are pretty solid. I'm usually a Radian or a Geisley guy myself. This will be the first time again that I've tried a Zev handle, but so far so good. I have no complaints. Now, of course, this thing did come with a magazine. It was only 20 rounds, course, in compliance with YouTube. But in addition to that, it does also have a Magpul MIAD grip. Okay, and so what that means is, I'll go ahead and grab what came in the box here as well. With that MIAD grip, you get adjustable back straps. And so this more or less means that you can kind of fine tune that pistol grip to what you like, right? We can even see, you can go so far as to remove the finger groove up front if you're into that type of thing. Okay, so again, these things are still in the box, or in the bag rather, I should say, but it does add an additional level of modularity and customization to your pistol if you like that type of thing, okay? Now, of course, with that MIAD grip, you do still get the trademark Magpul storage within the pistol grip there. Now, what they've done in this one is they've gone so far as to add an oil storage container. Now, if you know anything about Magpul, you can purchase these with a variety of inserts for battery storage, tool storage, or in this case, maybe lubricant or oil storage. So that's a nice addition out of the box again as well. Now, if you are of a keen eye, you'll probably note that there's one thing that I've forgotten to mention, or that I haven't mentioned thus far, and that is going to be the Law Tactical Folder. So if you know anything about Law Tactical Folders, this essentially allows you to make that pistol a lot more stowable, something that you could easily throw in a backpack or maybe in the back of your truck. And again, it allows that that stock extension, I should say, to fold and kind of lay off to the side there, of course, with the addition of a few extra components to facilitate that BCG travel back into the buffer tube. So again, they've added an FDE Law Tactical Folder on this guy. I'm very happy with those. I have a Law Tactical of my own, and that's usually about a $200 to $250 add-on, so it's nice to get that out of the box. Now, one other thing that I want to call out is the number of QDs on this particular rifle. Now, QDs have kind of become prolific. It's something that you more or less need on your rifle builds, okay? And so you do have one here at 6 o'clock on the Law Tactical Folder. Of course, you've got one on either side on the SBA3 Brace, as well as they've gone so far as to add a QD end plate for the buffer tube. So that's nice. You got a few there on the back. Now, one thing that I think that they've kind of left out here, in this particular instance at least, is not having one kind of forward of the lower receiver. I like to mount mine right about here, and so unfortunately that means that you'll have to go out and maybe buy a BCM M-LOK QD slot, but again, a small price to pay when you've got something this nice and this equipped out the box. Now, as I mentioned, that 2.5 pound trigger from ATC, we've got a ghost that here together. First thing that we'll do is acknowledge that we are in a safe place at the range, okay, and we will verify together that rifle is in fact empty. We've got nothing in the chamber, no bullet on the BCG, and of course an empty magazine there, okay? So what I'll do now is kind of actuate that Talon safety selector there, and we will ghost this trigger together. I'll try to make that to where it's as visible as possible here on the camera. A little bit of take up there, but a very defined wall as we can hear. Oh wow. That's a very crisp break. Okay, so let's reset that and let's see where the reset is. Oh wow, that's extremely short. That is extremely short. So this, okay, I'm gonna do that one more time just in case we missed it. Here's the reset. Maybe a millimeter. And then a millimeter back from that defined wall. And you've got a very, very crisp break. This thing is nice. Now, I don't know, I'll have to bring my Geisley out and kind of compare this side by side, but yo, I'm impressed. I don't know what else to say. That trigger is no joke. I'm very impressed with that trigger. Now, I don't personally run mini rifle competitions. I've just started trying my hand at pistol and carry optics, but that to me strikes me as something that would be conducive to a competition environment. Extremely short reset, very short and very defined pull, but of course that reset is very defined as well. What I really like about this trigger in particular is the very little travel that's required. So we'll do that one more time. I pull that back. I mean, there is barely any travel in that trigger. That is gonna be extremely quick. And again, I think personally, you know, if it was up to me, I would swap this muzzle device with something that's going to be suppressor compatible, slap a can on this guy, make sure that everything's going to be operating, maybe go so far as to add an adjustable gas block, and then throw on your choice of optics. Other than that, I think this thing is ready to go, of course, with maybe the addition of a QD on the handguard there. And if you really wanted to be picky, you could swap out your bolt release maybe with something fancier from Forward Controls or something like that. But listen, this thing is well equipped. I don't know how else to put it. And again, considering it is a limited run of 105 in collaboration with Wrmfzy, makes it that much more special. Okay, so it's a very unique rifle. Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of these in circulation. Again, 105 was the original production run. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Zev did have something of a slight mishap in selling these. I think that the website was completely overrun. The Wrmfzy hype beast came out in droves and pretty much fuck the website over, okay? And so, if I'm not mistaken, there are a few other units, somewhere between 50 and 80, that are still supposedly, allegedly, in production with Zev. They're supposedly going to get the same treatment, but I think time will tell whether or not that actually comes to fruition. Right now, at the time of this filming, there were only 105 of these units in circulation. There are a few of them out there on Gunbroker already, but all in all, man, these things are rare. If you got one, you know it's something nice. If not, well, there's a bit of solace in the fact this, at its core, is a Zev Elite core rifle, okay? Or pistol, in this case. So in theory, you could purchase one of those and maybe do it up, give it the warm fuzzy treatment to the best of your ability. But even this lower, right, is not going to be reproduced. It's something that you had to be there to get, okay? And so I'm happy to have one of these in my hands and be able to bring it to you guys. I don't know what else to say, man. I'm really tempted to shoot this guy, but at the same time, I want to keep it up and, you know, just memorialize it for a bit. So if you guys got one of these, go down in the comments and let me know. If you're interested in one, again, they are out there on Gunbroker. You're gonna have to pay a pretty penny. I think even before resale, these things are worth close to $3,000. Okay, and so that price will probably inch up a bit with time. I'm sure that some of you guys know the Wrmfzy Novetzke collaboration sold for upwards of $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 in some cases. Now, of course, that was a much smaller production run, but the rarity, the hype, it's real whether you like it or not. And at the end of the day, you are getting a pretty premium rifle. Again, I don't know what this thing is missing, but again, feel free to go down to the comments and let me know if there's anything that you do differently if you were Zev and Wrmfzy. With all that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Please, again, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, I'm gone.